One person won Game of the Year at the biggest developer awards in the industry using a free game engine and a deck of cards. Not a poker game, not a card game you've seen before. A roguelike that turned the 52 card deck into the most addictive scoring system in years. It's called Balatro. It swept the Game Developers' Choice Awards, Game of the Year, Best Design, Best Debut, Innovation. That's a peer vote, by the way. Actual game developers chose it over every AAA title on the planet. It also won Best Independent, Best Debut, and Best Mobile at the Game Awards. BAFTA Debut Game. Over 5 million copies sold, and it was built by one anonymous person in Saskatchewan, Canada, who doesn't play poker and doesn't play deck builders. The first solo project ever nominated for Game of the Year at the Game Awards. Here's why Balatro's design works and what every game developer can learn from it. Balatro is a roguelike deck builder built on top of standard poker. You draw 8 cards, play poker hands to beat a target score, and use the money you earn to buy modifiers that warp how scoring works. That's it. That's the pitch. The depth comes from 150 Joker cards, each one a simple rule that modifies your scoring in a specific way. The developer, who goes by LocalThunk, built it in Lua using the free Löve framework over 2.5 years. He originally made it as a resume piece. He deliberately avoided playing other deck builders during development so his ideas would stay pure. He only played Slay the Spire near the end, just to figure out the control scheme, and game developers gave it Game of the Year. The core loop is tight. Each run is divided into antes, and each ante has 3 blinds, a small blind, a big blind, and a boss blind. You have a limited number of hands and discards to beat the blind's target score. You play a poker hand, it scores chips times multi, and if you hit the target, you earn money and visit the shop. In the shop, you buy jokers, persistent modifiers that sit in 5 slots and change how your scoring works. You also buy tarot cards to modify your deck, change suits, enhance individual cards, destroy cards you don't want. Planet cards upgrade specific hand types permanently for that run. Spectral cards give you powerful effects with serious trade-offs, and vouchers provide permanent run upgrades that change how the shop works or give you extra hands and discards. Then the next blind demands a higher score, so you need better Joker synergy. Boss blinds throw special rules at you, some disable certain cards, some limit your discards, some flip cards face down, forcing you to adapt your entire strategy around a single restriction. The loop is draw, evaluate your hand against the target, score, shop, repeat. Everything feeds into everything else. Your deck composition determines what hands you can play. Your jokers determine how those hands score. Your money determines what you can buy, and the escalating targets force you to build a synergistic scoring engine or die trying. The first design decision that makes Balatro brilliant is the scoring system itself. Every poker hand has a base chip value and a base multi value. A pair is 10 chips times 2 multi, 20 points. A flush is 35 chips times 4 multi, 140 points. A straight flush is 100 chips times 8 multi, 800 points. Then your jokers modify these numbers. Some jokers add flat chips plus 30 chips when you play a pair. Some add flat multi plus 4 multi for every card you hold in hand. And some multi your multi times 3 multi when you play a flush. This matters enormously because it turns poker into a designable math problem. You're not just trying to play the best poker hand, you're building a scoring engine, and the order matters. Addition happens before multiplication. So if you have a joker that adds 15 mults per card held in hand, and another joker that multiplies your total mult by 1.5 per card held, the additive bonus feeds into the multiplicative 1. The multiplier is amplifying a bigger number. That's why you suddenly want big hands, full houses, 5-card flushes, not because they're good poker hands, but because they maximize your joker triggers and create bigger numbers before the multiplication kicks in. If you have a joker that multiplies mult by 3 when you play a flush, you use tarot cards to convert your entire deck to 1 suit so you can play a flush every single hand. The hand you play is just the trigger. The scoring engine does the work. And here's the key insight for any developer. Balatro exposes its math to the player. You see every number. You see where each chip and each point of mult comes from. Every joker's contribution is listed individually in the scoring breakdown. You can read the math. This turns optimization from guesswork into design. Players don't need a wiki, they don't need a guide. They can look at their jokers, look at the scoring formula, and figure out the build themselves. Compare that to most RPGs where damage formulas are hidden behind the scenes and players have to data mine the code to understand what's actually happening. If you're building any game with numbers, combat damage, economy pricing, skill tree values, making the math visible and designable is more engaging than hiding it behind abstractions. Balatro proves that players love doing math when they can see it. The second design decision is how 150 Joker cards create near infinite depth from individual simplicity. LocalThunk didn't design 150 complex systems. He designed 150 simple rules. Give +4 multi when you play a pair, multiply multi by 1.5 for each card held in hand. Destroy a random card after scoring. Earn $3 for each hand played this round. Each one is trivial on its own, but combine destroy a random card with multiply multi by 3 for each card destroyed this round, and you have a strategy. You're deliberately thinning your deck to trigger the multiplier. Combine earn money per hand played with reroll the shop for free when you have less than $5, and you have an economy engine that never stops shopping. The synergy isn't written into any single Joker. It emerges from the interaction between them. This is the same principle behind Magic the Gathering's design philosophy. Individual card simplicity creates combinatorial complexity. A Magic card does one thing. Two Magic cards might interact in ways neither designer predicted. Balatro works the same way. And with only 5 Joker slots per run, you can't have everything. Every shop visit is a prioritization decision. Do you keep the Joker that's carrying your build or sell it to make room for one that could be even better? That tension drives every single decision in the game. And here's what makes this even more clever. LocalThunk also included Joker variants. A Joker can be foil, giving bonus chips, holographic, giving bonus multi, polychrome, giving a multiplier to multi, or negative, which takes up 0 slots, effectively giving you a 6th Joker for free. So even when you find the same Joker you've seen before, it might come in a variant that changes how it fits into your build. The transferable principle here is build your systems from simple composable rules rather than complex monolithic ones. 150 simple rules that interact create more depth than 15 complex systems. For an indie dev, this is the most content-efficient design approach possible. LocalThunk built near-infinite replayability from 150 text descriptions and a scoring formula. The third design decision is the most underrated one, and it's about what Balatro didn't have to design. LocalThunk said the standard 52 card deck is a shared cultural game design tool that has evolved over hundreds of years. That's not just a nice quote. That's the reason Balatro works. By building on poker, he got for free what most developers spend months teaching. Players already know what a pair is. They know what a straight is. They know suits and ranks. There is zero tutorial needed. The game teaches its core mechanic before the player even installs it. That's why the mobile port was so successful. The barrier to entry is effectively zero for anyone who's ever seen a deck of cards. Then LocalThunk layers his original systems on top of this borrowed foundation. Jokers modify scoring, tarot cards modify your deck, planet cards upgrade hand types. Every original system modifies something the player already understands. You're never learning a new foundation, you're always building on one you already have. There was even a ratings controversy that proves this point. Balatro was initially rated 18 plus in Europe for gambling imagery. The rating board couldn't separate the poker aesthetic from actual gambling, even though there are 0 gambling mechanics. No betting, no real money, no randomness that mirrors slot machines, just poker hands used as a scoring trigger. The appeal succeeded, and it was reclassified to 12 plus. But the fact that the Poker Association was strong enough to trigger the controversy shows how powerful borrowed familiarity is. The principle, when choosing what to build your game's core around, consider whether there's a culturally universal system you can borrow. Poker hands, musical rhythm, chess movement, rock, paper, scissors. Building on universal knowledge eliminates the tutorial phase and lets players engage with your original ideas immediately. Think about how many popular games use this principle. Tetris built on the universal concept of packing things tightly. Words with Friends built on Scrabble, which built on crossword puzzles. Vampire Survivors built on the universal appeal of watching numbers go up. The pattern is the same every time. Borrow a foundation everyone knows, then add your original systems on top. Players get the satisfaction of understanding immediately, plus the excitement of discovering what's new. 3 lessons you can apply to your project today. First, expose your game's math to the player. Balatro's chips times multi-system is transparent, and that transparency is why players can strategize without guides. If your combat system, your economy, or your skill tree is a black box, players can't optimize it. And optimization is fun. Show the numbers, let players see what's happening under the hood. Think about your own game. If you have a damage formula, can the player see why one attack hits for 50 and another hits for 200? If they can't, they're guessing. And guessing isn't strategy. Balatro proves that when you show players the math, they engage with it deeply. They build spreadsheets, they theorycraft, they share builds, all because they can see the numbers. Second, build depth from simple, composable rules. 150 jokers with simple individual effects create more emergent gameplay than 15 complex mechanics ever could. Design your systems to interact with each other. The interactions are where the depth lives. If you're designing an inventory system, don't build 50 unique item types. Build 10 item properties that can combine in 50 ways. If you're designing a skill tree, don't make each node a unique mechanic. Make each node a modifier that changes how the other nodes work. Composition beats enumeration every time. Third, build on cultural familiarity when you can. If you can base your core mechanic on something players already know, you skip the tutorial entirely and get straight to what makes your game unique. The best new ideas are built on old foundations. This doesn't mean copy existing games. It means choose a foundation that's already in your player's brain, then innovate on top of it. That's what Balatro does. The poker hands aren't the innovation. The jokers, the scoring engine, the deck modification, that's where the original design lives. But it all works because players walk in the door already knowing the rules. You can prototype a Balatro-style scoring engine in an afternoon with AI tools. Use Claude Code or Cursor to generate the chips, times multi-formula, the hand evaluation logic, and the shop economy. The hand evaluator is a great starting point. Define the poker hand rankings, write the scoring function, and you have the foundation. Then use AI to generate joker concepts from templates, define the trigger condition and the effect, and have AI produce hundreds of syntactically valid card descriptions in seconds. You can specify the format, trigger, condition, effect type, magnitude, and AI fills in the variations. The most powerful application is balance testing. Simulate thousands of runs across different joker combinations to verify no single build dominates. You can have AI generate the entire simulation framework, a script that plays thousands of games with random joker loadouts and reports which combinations win too often or never win at all. Test edge cases. What happens when 5 jokers all trigger on the same condition? Does the scoring overflow? Balatro literally has a kill screen at ante 39 where the score overflows to nen and the game can't continue. That's the kind of edge case AI simulation catches before your players do. You can also use AI to test whether every poker hand remains achievable after extreme deck modifications. If a player converts their entire deck to one suit, can they still form a straight? These are exactly the kind of combinatorial explosion problems that are tedious to test manually but trivial for AI automation. We're building exactly this kind of AI accelerated game system inside AI Craft, emergent synergy from simple rules, with AI running the balance testing you'd never have time to do by hand. Join the community and build with us. Please feel free to subscribe and check out the links in the description below.